promise you guys, this ain't clickbait. Learn the latest news currently surrounding Cristiano Ronaldo and him being offered to Chelsea Football Club. Crazy story. What the hell is happening in this window? We have so many things to break down and discuss in today's vid. I hope you guys definitely enjoy, but before I continue on, please you guys help me hit that 3k like button for today's video. If you enjoy the content, if you love the videos I'm putting out, you guys share your love and support. And of course, you have to share your thoughts and opinions on this story in today's video. So without wasting no more time, so right now let's tackle this crazy ass story. It dropped from Ornstein of The Athletic, and it has been further supported by other credible media in the UK, like The Independent for example. And essentially, Mr. Todd Boehly has been a very busy man. And I think before I actually tackle the article, I want to say this very quickly. I do feel like some of us fans are moving a little bit impatient at times. We have to understand that Todd Boehly is not only working on restructuring the board at this point in time, not only is he acting as our interim sporting director, being literally directly involved now in the movement to try and sign players and also sell players as well too, as well as selling Lukaku on loan to Inter Milan, which took up a ton of time as well too, plus working alongside staff, etc. The guy is a very busy man, and I feel like now we are starting to enter this stage of actions being taken and we're moving away from interest. So we need to have some patience because this guy is literally working overtime to get us ready for the new season. Now I've got that out of the way, you guys, let's focus on the reports that came out from The Athletic. And essentially, Todd Boehly was in Portugal last week, meeting alongside Jorge Mendes to discuss not only Cristiano Ronaldo, but also other clients, of course, who are represented by Jorge Mendes. And some of these names represented, you're looking at Rafael Leao, you're looking at Bernardo Silva, you are looking at João Felix, Ait Nouri, Ruben Neves, Ricardo Pereira. You're looking at some of the biggest talents in Europe right now. It's absolutely mad. And it only makes sense that someone like Todd Boehly, a guy who has a reputation of signing big and signing expensive in American sports, is going to translate that philosophy here if he takes over us. It only makes all the sense in the world to me. And it also makes sense to start introducing yourself now that you're acting as the interim sporting director, to have better relationships now with agents. He's literally in the infancy right now of building connections, building networks, and these things play a big part, because if you have a great relationship with an agent, in the long run, they can play a significant part in pushing their clients towards you. And if they see us as a football club that has money to spend, and if Todd Boehly is able to create his vision he has for us to make us like, the premier club in this country, to make us like the Bayern Munich and the Real Madrid of London, then in the future, as guys like Jorge Mendes continue to boost their clientele list, we could have an amazing opportunity and an amazing advantage in the long term. So now I've got that bit out of the way too, let's actually tackle these Cristiano Ronaldo reports. Ronaldo has been discussed as an option that could be signed in the summer window. We know that Bayern Munich have also had an opportunity as well too to open some dialogue, to test waters and to find out whether the player might be interested in the move as well too. But let's actually tackle some of the reality right now. Ronaldo currently has 1 year left on his existing Manchester United deal. He has no issues with the new management now under Ten Hag, and actually has very positive and kind words to say about him after really respecting what Ten Hag did during his days at Ajax, which makes a ton of sense. Ten Hag was also very open to working alongside the player as well too. However, when it comes to ambition, Ronaldo is like the living embodiment, the living representation of what ambition is. I mean, you can see it in each one of his abs, you guys. You can see it on this guy's face, not even one wrinkle. And he's like about to approach 38 years old. The guy's serious, and even though he does have a soft spot for Manchester United, he has ambitions to win, and he needs to make sure that Manchester United are able to do something. And currently, they're struggling to entice Eriksen. They're currently struggling and facing a losing battle to try and sign Frenkie de Jong from Barcelona. They've lost Paul Pogba. Lingard is leaving on a free as well too. They aren't in a great position right now, so why is this guy going to remain in a sinking ship? We know that he scored 24 goals last season. He came back to the Premier League at 37 years old, and he's still scoring hat-tricks against Spurs. He's still scoring the winning goals for Manchester United as well too. And this is part of a struggling United team that don't really have any identity whatsoever. So am I currently just like taking the piss right now, and I'm getting like too ahead of myself envisioning Reece James crosses inside the box to find Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, I can literally just see this like in 4K in my head right now. That can't really happen, can it? Flipping out, you guys. It's an interesting one, you know? If you were able to hypothetically sign Ronaldo in this window, you've got like guaranteed expertise, a guy that understands the league, and is one of the most clinical forwards and finishers in the world still. That is the reality behind things. We literally need someone that can convert opportunities and someone that doesn't need 3, 4, 5 chances to score a goal. And this is Ronaldo down to a T. I could see him complimenting some of the guys here. And on top of that too, not only would he act as like a mentor alongside your Kais. Imagine Kai Havertz improving his heading ability, learning off Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, imagine the young guys and the other guys in the team too, learning off that professionalism from the player as well too. Some of the tips and tricks they'd be learning as well. And on top of that as well, just imagine the marketing boost of having Cristiano Ronaldo playing for this club for at least one season. Now, normally you guys, deals like this, you know, I'm always using my like common sense and I'm using like my brain. But even though this is pure fantasy, I don't think this is unrealistic. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Ronaldo couldn't do or bring something towards us. I mean, the guy is still an absolute legend at his age. And even though I'm Messi all the way, yeah. You know, Ronaldo, of course, is an absolute legend of the sport. And I could see a lot of like financial impacts and improvements that we'd have by having his marketing at this club. Now, the reality is he's on incredible wages. I think some of the reports are saying that he might be earning like $500,000 a week at Man United, but you'd imagine that a lot of that contract actually comes from the player earning more of his image rights, for example. That's a lot of times that's how these deals do end up playing out. But the fact that Ronaldo's agent is representing him and is offering the player now to bigger clubs, it tells you everything you need to know about how finished Manchester United are. I'm sorry, Man United fans, it's not looking too great right now. I had big hopes for you guys as well too, but I mean, the struggles I'm seeing in the window, you know, you've got a player like Ronaldo. Like, how can you expect him to just remain there, take it, and hope for the best when literally nothing's happening right now? I have to say that I would be incredibly here for it. And maybe I'm going to sound cynical, but if Ronaldo was another forward that just didn't work under Tuchel again, we have to have a different video and have different conversations, yeah? But let's focus on the hype, let's focus on the positives, and let's focus on the potential that Todd Boehly has serious ambitions for this football club. So it's incredibly exciting right now, my friends. And I kind of understand Ronaldo's mentality right now. I mean, if he can't beat us, then join us. It makes sense. We can offer you CL football. We can offer to take your son, Ronaldo Jr., to the next level. Bring Ronaldo Jr. to Cobham, man. Bring him to Cobham because you have to get this guy ready. I know you're seeing Messi's kids right now. You're seeing that they've got their dad's same dribbling style as well too. You can't waste any time. Bring Ronaldo Jr. to Cobham. And I'm telling you guys, we've got the entire Ronaldo legacy at this club. So right now, let's continue on. Now, to end with things, let's talk about some of the possible clients. Yeah, let's talk about the fantasy ones, realistic ones, and other clients available that Jorge Mendes is representing. I mean, you're looking at João Felix, you're looking at Rafael Leao. These are two fantasy guys that you would love to see signs. I think Rafael Leao has an incredible release clause of like 120 million. You'd have to pay that outright to buy him right now. But with the ambition we have, anything could possibly happen, you're hoping. But that feels very unrealistic at this point in time, as AC Milan currently are doing the most to try and entice him to sign a new deal. You're looking at João Felix. And I have to say this about João Felix first. It was quite interesting that a few months back here, it was actually reported that a leaked audio recording between Jorge Mendes and the owner of Benfica was released, where a few years back, originally, Mendes had hopes to actually push his client towards Man City. Of course, he thought he'd be the most expensive Portuguese player in history, which he basically kind of is already now. But with Premier League money and the fact that you'd imagine that João Felix won't stay at Atletico Madrid forever. It feels like they don't necessarily get the best out of him. And João Felix is still actually adapting and learning and improving on things like his off-the-ball work, intensity, pressures, etc., etc. But he has been a player that isn't typically getting like runs of games. And there is some type of outcry in the sense that is Simeone like the best manager to get the most out from the player? Is he taking too much away from him? We have to see, but I say after 2.5 years after signing for Atletico Madrid, he is starting to show more promise. Last season, injuries came at the wrong time, but today actually, it's quite ironic, you know, the player came out to state in an interview to Portuguese media that he still has ambitions, of course, to remain at Atletico Madrid for another season. Now, when you're talking to someone like Jorge Mendes, you're talking to him to build a long-term relationship. And with someone like Jorge Mendes, you know, he saw Haaland go to Man City. You know, he saw Nunes as well too, another player he owns, Liverpool. Imagine the agent fees he received from that. A guy like this is already plotting in advance where he wants to move his clients onto. And the opportunity and advantage we have now is that with a new board and new structures, you know, this means that the rules are completely different now. And it means that relationships are completely different. And it means that new avenues and opportunities are possibly available. I do think in the long term, I've always been a massive fan of João Felix. I think him playing out this Strecky-esque type of false nine role, you know, his dribbling ability, his creativity, his finishing. I feel like in a system like ours where Tuchel wants small guys to prosper more in central positions, I see Felix in the same family of players like your Nkunku's, for example, and I do think that he would be someone that could potentially come here and go to a different level easily compared to what he's currently doing at Atletico Madrid. I mean, some of the games I've seen this guy literally struggling, especially in the Champions League, one-man army against like legions of defenders. How is this guy going to develop to reach his full potential? I'm not too sure, to be honest with you guys, but they're fantasy options. I guess more realistic ones would be players like Aït-Nouri. Now that Ian Maatsen is basically going to the final as well too, you know, Aït-Nouri is developing and showing that he's one of the most exciting fullbacks in the country. And over time, you know, you're looking at Man City, close to signing Cucurella. You need to have quality competition down both flanks. Other players such as Nico Gonzalez from Barcelona, guys like Ricardo Pereira from Leeds, I think he would be quite solid competition alongside Reece James. Pedro Neto of Wolves too, let's see what he does for next season, but he has a host of clients that could bring you something now in this window, and also has very exciting options to keep an eye out for and build relationships for the future. So there you have it, you guys. That is all the breaking news currently surrounding Ronaldo interest at this point in time. What's happening this window? Let's hope that this window actually like fulfills all of the dreams we currently have. And on that note, I'm BlueLionsTV. This is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys with some more videos. Cool.